What's up, Variant Nation? We usually like to keep our Wednesday episodes character themed, but ever since season 1 of Titans wrapped up a few weeks ago, a ton of people have been asking us for a review and my thoughts on season 1 as a whole. Well, we aim to please, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Also, this will obviously contain heavy spoilers for the season, as I want to be able to speak freely about my thoughts. So that was your spoiler warning. Now, as many of you may remember, I reviewed the first episode of the series, and in that review, I was torn. I didn't really have a solid opinion, as it was just the pilot. Although I was not a fan of the vibe and tone. It was bleak and dark, and although the Teen Titans have had darker storylines in the comics, in general that's not the Titans I know from the comic books. Not to say everything has to be like the comics for me to like a superhero show or movie, sometimes finding a new angle works great. There's several examples of that. But I personally think shows and movies based off superheroes work best when you find a happy medium of bringing something new, yet still staying true to the character's roots. It's like most things in life, if you could just find a way to meet in the middle, everyone's happy. With that said, I did enjoy the season as a whole. It was definitely entertaining. But I will say, I personally think all the best parts of the season are the elements that don't deal with the actual Titans themselves. Which is sad considering it's a Titans show. What I mean by this is all my favorite episodes and characters don't consist of Titan members. For instance, the Doom Patrol episode was amazing. All the characters were great, extremely likable, and compelling. In fact, their solo series is one of the shows I'm looking forward to most this year. Also, Hawk and Dove, both of their episodes were great. I love the reimagining of Hawk and Dove's origin and how and why Hank and Dawn became Hawk and Dove. It was a very depressing and dark origin story, but really made you understand why Hank has so many problems as an adult. Plus, they made his brother Dawn really likable. I was sad they had to kill him off, but his death tied him to the female Dawn, who would become the new Dove, as well as his love interest. Just all the Hawk and Dove stuff in general I thought was handled really well. Then you have Donna Troy, who I also loved. They did a great job linking her to Dick Grayson's past. They gave us a bunch of cool flashbacks, and we also saw her golden lasso, which looked just as good as it did in the Wonder Woman solo film. And then there's my favorite aspect of the whole season, Jason Todd as the second Robin. I'm a massive Jason Todd fan, so the fact that they pretty much nailed his character in the show makes me beyond happy. Like, he doesn't give a crap. He punches first and asks questions later. They even give hints of him going off the rails when he was beating the crap out of cops because they're always trying to arrest him and Batman. So good. But that's what I mean. All 4 of those examples are my favorite things about the series, and none of them are Titan members. I just personally think while they nailed Jason Todd, Doom Patrol, and so on, they totally missed the mark with several Titan members. So let's start with Dick Grayson. While I didn't hate Dick in this, I felt like he was really far removed from the Dick we know from the comics and even cartoons. My favorite thing about Dick Grayson and kind of the core of his character has always been that he's like a more optimistic version of Batman. While Bruce has never been able to get over his parents' death and still uses it as his fuel to wage war against crime, Dick has gotten over his parents' death. Not saying that it doesn't affect him, but like any loss, over time things get easier and you move on. Dick is not afraid to let people get close to him, while Bruce is very much shut off from the rest of the world. So instead of going that route, Titans decided to make Dick more like Jason Todd, being extremely violent, which is really weird considering Jason Todd is already in the show. So why would you want to have 2 Robins that have anger issues and fight extremely violently? I would think you'd want to have some contrast. For instance, in the show, Dick leaves Batman's side because he was becoming too violent and too much like Batman, as he said. Which was personally off-putting and a weird approach, I thought. I get that they're trying to use that to make Dick find and reinvent himself before he inevitably becomes Nightwing, but you could have done that so many other ways. Again, I didn't hate Dick Grayson in this, I just thought it could have been much better. Then we have Starfire. I will never understand why they went with the whole Starfire lost her memory, so that's why she dresses like a hooker, because she doesn't remember who she truly is. Have her lose her memory all day long. You could do a lot of cool things with that. But why with the freaking concubine look? I also wasn't too big on the reveal that she was sent to Earth to destroy Raven and Trigon, but lost her memory along the way. To be completely honest, I didn't like Starfire across the board. Which sucks because if they just would have wrote her different, the actor who plays her probably would have done a good job. But no matter how good of an actor you are, if the writing's not there, it's not gonna work. But to be fair, Starfire did have several cool moments, but not enough to redeem her for me. As for Raven, she was literally my least favorite thing about the series. I'm not even going to talk about her too much because I feel bad tearing her down. Everything about her origin and her Hot Topic look, I just wasn't a fan. Tegan Croft, who played the character, is probably a lovely, sweet girl in real life, but I just did not like her performance. And every time she would look in the mirror and see that demonic version of herself, it was so cringy, at least I thought so. But I'm gonna leave it at that because I try not to be overly negative. Just know, I wasn't a fan of Raven. As for Beast Boy, he was good, but I feel like he wasn't in it enough or had enough of an arc. although he did introduce Doom Patrol. But every time he was on screen, he was enjoyable. I actually wanted to see more of him because I liked where he was going. Also, can we talk about that season finale and how it wasn't a good season finale? I mean, it was mainly a dream sequence that was all about Dick trying to stop a rogue Batman who was killing every villain in Arkham, which would be fine, but not for a season finale. Also, Batman's costume was horrible. I get that they didn't show it close up, but it was still horrible. The cowl was all wonky with ears not even pointing up straight. Like, this is a DC and Warner Brothers official show. If you're out of budget dollars, borrow the freaking Batfleck or Bale suit, for crying out loud. We've posted behind the scenes of the costume up close on social media, and yeah, definitely not a winner. With all that said, I know it may feel like I was just tearing the show apart for like the last few minutes, but just because I have all those gripes doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the season. It still had a lot of fun elements. The fight scenes are great, all the Easter eggs and references to other DC characters are awesome, and a lot of the characters are great. Again, Hawk and Dove, Doom Patrol, Donna Troy, and Jason Todd make the season worth it alone. I just have a few gripes with certain characterizations of characters, and the overall tone of the show I don't think has to be as dark as it is all the time. Like I said earlier, I think you could find a nice middle ground, as the Titans aren't known to be this Watchmen-esque gritty team. So will I be watching season 2? For sure, and I do recommend you watch the first season, because even with all my nitpicking, it's still a fun watch. First up for Wednesday, January 9th, we have Young Justice Issue 1. Superboy, Wonder Girl, Robin, Impulse, they're all united in Young Justice Issue 1, the debut issue of a brand new series that also introduces new heroes, Teen Lantern and Ginny Hicks. Now we have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Issue 1. This is a brand new Spider-Man series written by Tom Taylor. You know, the man responsible for the majority of the Injustice comics and the awesome Star Wars comic. Here we have the Green Lantern Issue 3. Putting it simple, this issue is Green Lantern versus God. Next we have Captain Marvel Issue 1. If you want to start reading Captain Marvel before her new movie, this is the perfect opportunity. And finally we have Batman Issue 62. Professor Pig is loose in Gotham, and you know what that means. Things are about to get weird and bloody. And that's going to bring another episode of Variant to a close, but remember to check out all our social media. Links for that is in the description as always. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.